Okay. Still sending the data. Interesting. Still need to figure out why it doesn't send anything to Facebook. That'll be the first thing I'm going to have to check out tomorrow. Anyway, let's do what I'm doing now. Why are we still coming up with red and green and yellow? Yeah, right, whatever. Okay, so I've already started working on the texturing of this one, so there won't be that much left to do. Well, actually, that's a lie. There is still a lot more to do. So, started UV mapping these yesterday. Just need to get them done on a proper UV map. So let's get that done today. Was there anything else over there? No, I need to do the light again, but right, okay. Start with these first. So that's already done. So it's just sorting all these bits out. We'll start with that one first. Oop. Boom, that there. Right, this is where it's going to get complicated as hell. Why did I go and do it this way yesterday? Right. If I can get those bits without catching the other bits on the opposite side, which will bloody happen because it always does. Oh, perfect, that's a bloody first for me. Right, I'll drag them out because they're exactly the same. What? Well, wait, oh god, this is going to confuse me, isn't it? This is going to bloody right. Move them out. Okay, what am I doing now? I forget the top bits from these. No, okay, no, I am really confused because where the hell is that coming from when I haven't even got that in the selection? What's going on? How's that even there? Because oh yeah, I have to do the square bit and all. Right, so that's the square bit which I'll break down, so I'll put that there. Again, why is... Have I? Okay, that's just some surreal weirdness because I never actually selected that. Huh. Okay. I notice it's, you know, October and everything. Now what the hell's this doing? Is it sort of like going off on its own? Has it got a bloody mind of its own now or something? The fuck? I can't even pick that. Right, I'm rambling. Let's try and keep up to date with this. Right, so just get this UV map set up, then I can get it sent for substance pair to use. So let's... no, of course, it wouldn't be like that easy, would it? Drag that up. Try again. Perfect, right. So, the one that's needing the most UVs, well, they're all needing a bloody decent amount, is this thing in it. So if I start with the billboard and put that in, might have to create a stencil in Photoshop for that, but we'll see how we go. I need to do the back and I need to do the sides, so because they'll obviously be different, because that'll be blank, that'll be the one that's there because we don't ever see what's on the back of there. So right, scale that down. Scale this down but in the opposite direction and then flip it either way so that I can just put that there. So that's the entire of that cube done, that's fine. Right, so the next thing I need to do is get the rest of the metal working for that. So what I'll do here No. Right, I'll do. Select that. Scale it to flip on that. Why are they different when they're the same? What the hell? Is it because I've given that one more coverage? Oh no, I give up. I'll leave it at that. Sod it. Right, so which way is this actually looking? So it's looking that way. So if I flip that and just slide that in like that, that'll give it that coverage. That'll give it all the coverage. So that's overlapping with that one. That's fine because they're all going to be using the same texture anyway. So what I'll do now is I'll dump. Up in there, given that much of a UV space so they get a nice even coverage. That's the little bit that's poking out, which is clipped to there, so I need to like separate all of these edge faces and then put more. But then again, no, I do need to because they're all different sizes, aren't they? Right, so let's do that. Right, is there still more, or am I just imagining things? No, there is one more. Right, now I need to figure out which bloody bit is which. Right, so it's not that one, not that one, not that one. Right, that's the front one. So which one's the door? Right, so that's those bits. So if I just scale this down a bit, I need to find the next bit. Okay, is it that one or is that the lower one? That's the lower one. So if I can get the lower one and the top one together, which I assume is that one, then I can just put that on top of each other because they're going to be using the same UV coverage anyway. So saves the UV space. Flip it because I know which way that is, and then just scale that down so it's a little bit thinner. Put that there. So then that would be, one of these has to be the opposite side and the one's the front. That's that one. Right. So I can just put that there on top of there. Perfect. And this one's obviously going to be. Wait, what? It's that one, isn't it? Yeah. Right. Right, so those I can just scale in like that because that's what it is. Just put them together. Right, that'll start giving a decent bit of UV coverage, but not that much because it's a small bit on the metal frame, so it doesn't really need that much attention. Okay. So I assume this is all of those bits. Right. They can all use the same coverage because again, it's all using the same texture, so it just doesn't need to have that much coverage. It doesn't need it for every individual bit, it just needs it to be covered. I mean, hell of a what? No, I couldn't do it because that's the sign. So I'll just stick with that. So that's done. That one is the I was going to say the railings, but it's not a railing, is it? No, it's not. It's not a bloody railing. It's part of the bloody. Where's my notes? The chain links. The chain links for the fence when it's locked. Yes, that's what it is. I haven't gone completely crazy yet. Right, so where's the other? Right, we'll get the bin done. Might as well put that in now. That one's actually not too bad. I can just probably throw that all in one go. So now I remember, because if I'm right, these are the actual bits that are on the bottom of the bin, so they really don't need that much UV coverage at all. So I can actually scale them down quite a bit. And if I wanted to, hell, let's just go for it. I'll flip it sideways as well. Okay. So I'll just put that there for now, just because I'm being like that. Them on the other hand need a bit more. Bloody hell, I need more things on this UV. Can't bloody justify it otherwise. What the f... freak. Right. Okay, let's try. So that's doors. What else can I add on here? Probably that light. Because I mean, it's already UV map, but I think it might need a new UV map because I don't even know which bit is bloody which on here, and I do need to re-UV map it anyway because I did these bits. Oh, the joy. The joy. Okay. Okay, so that's UV mapped. Trust me at last minute. Well, actually, I'm going to be having to UV map these sections again because they've been added onto the mesh. Oh dear, why, oh why did I not just do it beforehand? Why do I do this to myself? Why is that still highlighting? Right. Up there. Now I've got to try and do it for this. God. Why do I do this to myself? Right, don't need that. Not interested. Don't need any of that. That's all I need. Right, y-axis projection. That. Okay, done. Of course, don't try and make this easy for yourself. Why the hell would I want to do that? Bollocks. That'll teach me for letting it be an FBX export and then it just triangulating everything. Because I didn't save the original, did I? It's taken from the private back alley, but I've modified the asset a little bit more, which is what I usually do for stuff like this. Just find something similar and just take what I've already built and adjust and edit what I've already got, and then it makes it into something completely and utterly different. Right, front and back, UV map those, Z-axis projection, bung that there. Now I need to do that, but I'll flip that. Let's see if it can. No, right. No, other way. No, just stop doing this to me. Ugh, you just been. Right, now you're just taking the pick. Right. Now if I do it this way. No. No. Do you know what? Sod it, I'll just do it myself. I know what I'm doing. No, it has to be that way, so. Right. Negative 90 that. So now I need to highlight these, but let's see if it'll let me highlight them without actually. No, of course. No, just had to make it harder. That'll teach me. That's the eagerness of making a completely different asset and then thinking, well, maybe I should UV map it before I actually, you know, export it. No. Didn't do that, did I? Have to do it all again. So, that's... No, not that. I just want them. Tell me, as I do. God. Highlighted. Oh God, no, not them. Right, perfect. Right, put that there. See what I've got left after the UV mapping of these bits, because these were the added bits on that I put on the mesh. So that is literally what's left of the old one, right? Yep. So what I need to do now. What the hell is this bit? Oh right, it's that bit's the light. Right. Well, it needs to be upscaled a bit, and I assume this is all this. But then what are all the... what are these bits? Why aren't they like... let's just give it a new UV map. Let's just give it something better to work with, because if I have to look at this I'm going to go a little bit crazy. Not those. So if I do that, brilliant. Give it a bit more UV coverage, upgraded the UV mapping. I assume this is the bottom, yeah, so we'll just re-UV map that again on the y-axis and then people are wondering how I know everything's axis and everything and why it's doing it that way. Every single one of these components is set up on a custom shelf, so I know that that's doing Y projection, that's your X projection, Z, cylinder, spherical, mapping, etc. Because inside of these ones you've got the bog standard planar, cylindrical and what have you, but they don't have the commands set up for X, Y and Z, which is what I've got here. So when I do my UV mapping I can just easily go up there, press a button, it does it for me, as opposed to going in there, changing a setting in there. I can just go boop boop boop, press button, done. Quicker, much more efficient as well, and been obviously improving over the years, and it's this shelf that just makes it easy for me to do stuff. If when people were wondering why I keep going on here and how I know which button works with which one, because they're all the bloody same for those first three and there isn't much difference. I just know them as Y, X and Z because I put them in that order. Cylindrical I know because it's got the curves and it even says there when you hover over it, and that's obviously symmetrical, but for those it's just going to say creates rejection planar to the selected surfaces or what have you. But of course, because it's not saying it's X, Y or Z, you wouldn't know what its projection is going to be when you press the button, but because I've made them such a way, I know which ones are which. I really need to upgrade those icons though to actually say Y, X, Z, even though I know I won't get mixed up because I know the order they're in, but that's what they're there for anyway. It's just making it efficient and easier for me to do stuff. I wonder if I can get away with symmetrical mapping just that though. Give it a bit more coverage. There we go, why not? Go with that one, give it a bit more coverage, make it a bit more efficient looking. The only thing is this is going to be a pain in the backside, so I'm going to Y-axis projection this again. And I'm not pressing the flaming buttons now, that's just typical of me, right. So that's Y-axis, yep. So that's all the light. I'll just move that away slightly. Right, so now I've got all of these done. Let's see, will this wait, what did I not, but I thought I put, okay, whatever, I'll put you on then, put you on the UV map. Give me a minute, guess I forgot about you, that should never bloody happen. Right, so since it's a chain link it doesn't really need that much UV space, so I'll just bung it in there, leave it there. Right, let's see where I can put the light. The light really don't need that much space, and I should really model the next. I might model the next one actually, even though you only see it at like obscure angles. I know exactly what it should look like in theory, it's just building it. So it's definitely got a little doohickey button system there, probably red and green, just eyeballing that. And obviously there's the cylindrical bit going up, bit of a curve here going down. These bloody rooms are always obscure. They have this obscurity that with light sources you couldn't just have, you know, the odd, you know, the obvious light source. It'd be an actual light. It has to be all these little ones that have got like cables attached to it, which are going through the branches on the trees, which you can't even see. So that's already driving me nuts. And I think there's even one there I've bloody missed. I didn't even see there, and that's bloody like hiding there, like yeah. Bloody lights. They're the bane of my existence, as is trees and anything else related to foliage. I hate doing them because it takes up the poly budget so much. Yeah, I'm still alive. I'm still here, modelling in the flaming jungles as it is. Well, not a jungle, but in the flaming park. I'm almost done. I can't wait. Just want to be to in the dead factory and be done with it. Oh, bloody hell, what a flaming day. Right. So, what bit was this then? Oh, that was that bit, that's right. So if I put them together, and them, because they're all going to be using the same UV map anyway, so, right. Yeah. Drop all them together because they're all going to be the same textured anyway, so it just saves UV space, which is again a problem because by saving the UV space there's not a lot I can put on there, but then it means I can put more on. It's the conundrum we're living. They can be separate because obviously they're going to be with them because that's those upper parts, That's the lower bit of that, so we can just dump them together, and that's the light bit, which I'm going to alpha channel, so that won't even need anything in the end. But anyway, that's just me rambling about tech like I always do. I know, get the hype going, hashtag dead factory. Can't wait to get there. Urban stuff, I like that kind of stuff, all the industrial stuff. When it comes to forests and bloody nature and anything of organic nature, I bloody hate it with a passion, because it's that much fiddliness. It's like trying to do humans. We're a pain in the ass to model as well as draw because of all the parts that make us us. It's just, no, I don't like it. I don't like organic stuff. Inorganics, metallics, mecha, that kind of stuff. That's the sort of stuff I like. That's my bread and bloody butter, not this bloody forest foliage. Oh dear. But it has to be done. I can't call the project complete unless I do this sort of stuff. So, gotta get my hands dirty, work out my comfort zone. Give that, no, actually what I'll do is I'll just put it there and give it a bit more UV coverage. Maybe not that much though, just that much, that'll do. Got the light to do now, haven't I? Just bung that in wherever, probably at the bottom actually, make it easier to find. I know it's there. That's it. Save what I've got because I don't want that screwing up. Yeah, hard surfacing, all that kind of stuff is much easier to do. It's much easier on the brain, especially when you're looking at stuff like this, and it's like, well, you can see where all the hard edge stuff is. It's so much easier to go with, and then you start seeing all this cropping up, and then all these bloody roots that you got to be done, and then it's like, oh, more foliage, and then dead bodies, which I don't actually have to add in because they're an additional part, but I might maybe get something, I don't know, I'm not even going to go that far. I'll get the environment done and that's it. Chains are already bad enough because they're all over the bloody spot and trying to figure out which one attaches to what. It's like you have to zoom in so bloody close. That's why I'm just doing it as one set and duplicate a million times when it's textured, and I've got all that covered in one bloody go. This stuff's already needing to be done, but that'll be done soon. And as for the warning sign, I'm pretty sure that's that one that says McFarlane blah blah blah, which I've already got the texture for, so I can do a quick edit for that. Be a pain, be an easy, be a doddle, but fucking foliage, nope. I really do not like foliage. I knew I'd be dreading it when it got to the parks. Like, oh, the clock tower, the hospital, brilliant, nice, just background stuff. The front of the clock tower where the flaming tram rams through it. Absolutely love doing the complete version of that. Oh, now you've got to ram the tram through the wall and break it all into pieces. And, oh, I don't like doing that. I don't like breaking things like that. Oh dear. So, with what I've got, I just need to think if I need to add one more thing. Got the wooden planks done, all the ropes done. I just need to duplicate it all over the spot like a madman that I am. I wonder if I shove the bench in there. Should I go with the bench? Should I? Yeah, we'll sod it. We'll add the bench in there as well. I need to figure out how the hell I'm going to UV map it anyway. Okay. Get one of the legs. Get the little thing I've put under there as like a branch point. Right. And I still have to put the tacks in there. Odd or nails, depending on what part of the world you're from. So, yeah. Right. I'll start with... yeah, hang on. Let's see. I can separate this because it isn't... I can... Yes. Right. This is good because now I don't have to pee around as much. I'll have to UV map one of these. So I'll do this one. Y-axis. See, that was the problem with me doing this in a separate scene and then having the FBX export triangulate the mesh. I have to now do it all while it's triangulated, and I hate doing it like that. Oh, bloody hell. Right. Screw that down there. Just do that quickly. I mean, I could literally put that all on one UV space because it is all going to be using the same texture anyway. Why the hell not? Let's go with that. Why not? Make it easy, not too hard. Right, so that's that way. So if I just scale that down. Now, in terms of that, is that the same? Will that actually make it easy to read if I do that one? Yeah, that's it. So I'll just scale that one down as well. Plug that on top of there, because obviously they're going to be using the same UV space. Because, you know, a plank's a plank at the end of the day. Doesn't matter what it looks like in the game engine, because it's a wood texture at the end of the bloody day. Oh dear. Hard surfaces. Scale it in a little bit, because obviously that's the side. Now I'll have a different texture all, well, sort of. Right, so I need to get back these. So that's good, because what I can now do is, again, just UV map this one, texture it, then just duplicate it again and again and again, like I did previously when I modelled this in the previous model stream, and then just there would be completely textured. I don't have to worry too much about it, apart from the nails, which I might as well bloody do now. Well, the problem is you can't tell if they're going up there. You can see them there, but not there. So I assume they only go up to a certain point, and that's how I'm going to build it. So I'll do the nail now, because that won't take me long, but let me just get these done. In fact, if I'm thinking about it, I'm not even going to need that one, am I? Because I've just used that one and just press it out. Right, yeah, easy. Just this one I have to do, right. So since you don't see that, delete that. Could probably get away with actually cylindrical mapping that. Ah, brilliant. Just bump that over there. Set that to a... Ooh, nope, I'll set that to a y-axis. Scale it down in a bit, because I just want to get everything UV mapped. Now I'll get the nails done. Right. Got two ways of doing it. I can actually model the nail into it and boolean it, which will probably break everything. Or I can just model the top of it, which will just be much easier. So keep it at 12, because all the budget's going to be on those bloody trees at the end of it. So let's say about that big. Might need to do a bit of more of an adjustment though, because there's 4 in there, 4 on each side, 2, 12, 4 on each plant, but 2 at the bottom, 2 at the top. So adjust it as I'm working, but I'll just quickly. So you know what? See that? Just normal, these edges sort of softened, and remove these edges, because that's just taking up too many polygons, and we can do a lot better with the frigging processing for that. Right, that's textured and that's done. Grab it. Okay, put that down there for now, and then I can go back in here. Tell me, I also want a UV map. No, of course not. That's the one, right. That's not the one I UV map, because it's further over there, so get that done. Was the one that's sticking outwards, which I need to soften the edge on. That one, which one was, which light was it? Not that one. That one? No. That one, no. That one, no. Ah, there we go. Perfect. Right. Oh. Right, so what I need to do now is get this wooden plank set in. So, flip it, scale it. Maybe give it a little bit more UV coverage, because it is a plank after all. Put that there. Get me the plank leg, well, for the bench, even though you don't actually see one on the render, but I'm going to put it in anyway, just for the sake of it. So I'll just put that next to it, I know it's there. Perfect. And then I just need to do the tack, but I need to, that's it, move that out and drop this on here. That's it. Really doesn't need much coverage because it's a nail, you don't even see that much of it, so I'm just going to scale that down a bit. Put that there. Now I've got that much space left. Is there anything else I can think of adding there apart from that other light, which I'm going to have to model? Which, you know, this is the end game, I suppose. Let me think. I mean, I don't want to be putting these doors on. I want all that. I want separate UV, so it's just easier to digest. I still have to get that padlock from the power station since it uses the same bloody model. So there you go. I'm winning on that angle. Oh God, do I really want to be modelling this? I suppose it. Yeah, go for it. What the hell? What the hell? We'll get that model done as well. Right. I'll just actually, while I'm here, if I just push that out, and none of the other things are overlapping, are they? So what I can do then is just combine those assets straight away when I export them in substance pair and start painting them. So I'll just leave it at that for now. Now I get the light done. So I'm going to rebuild this. So need to build this, so I'm going to need a cylinder. We'll keep the poly budget low. Don't need to go mad with it, it's only a lamppost after all. But then again, wasn't it this bit that was curved, or was I seeing things? No, it is curved, I'm not going crazy. Right, so I do it with a sphere, drag it down. That can be the building block. Right, okay. Oh no, hang on. Remember, I created the flaming layout for this sort of problem. Let's try that again. Right, so if I get it from angle, get rid of the bloody grid there so I can see what I'm doing. Which one has the, that one does, so we'll go from there. So that's about round here, innit? I might have enough to make this a lot smaller, but like I say, I'm still working on that. Right. So this should be, nope, it's 20, no, stick to 12, it's, no, 12, that's what it'll be, not 120, we're not going that bloody crazy with the poly budget, even if it is 250,000, I like to try and keep it under that. Right, so what I'll do is, I'll soften the edges first, that's done, and then remove the lowest section of that. And then what I do is grab the edges, extrude those, and that's a curved lamppost bit done. But I have to scale it now because that's probably not even the right bloody size compared to what it is in the render. No, of course not. And of course I'm going to have to make that flat. Let me scale. Let me get this down about the right size. So it's from that point down to there. So that's how big they are. Just duplicate that away so I've got that in the right place. So that's where that is. Just soften those edges. And then if I take that off, you'll see why. So now everything's softened. It's not all hard edge, so if I can just take that off again and not do it, you'll see what I mean. See how the edges are all hard edges, because then it looks horrible. It just, because you can see where it's been extruded, you can see where the edges have been. So by doing normals and then softening the edges, which I should really have as a shelf button, but you know, it softens it. And that's why when you get a few assets in a game engine, when people haven't actually normal smoothed their edges or anything on an asset, you start to get all the edges popping out, and it looks really horrible, especially on skin characters like a character model. It looks horrible as hell, unless you're going for that look. Right. So that's done. So I need to do the curve point for the lamppost. I'll do that no, I'll do that now. Let's not even start trying to jump the gun, as it were. Right, so this is going to be a 90-degree angle curve. A pipe that's going to go straight down, so I can do that with the tools. That's going to be a cube rectangle, which is smoothed. Right, so now I need to get the right, that's not the BSS, but I do need to go into documents. I need to go into my here and the scripts and then grab this, because this is just much easier for me to create craziness with. Pipes are a pain to do. This just makes it simplified. And when you're doing stuff and you try to make a timeline of stuff, or you want it to get it done within 2 weeks, every room within a 2-week radius as best you can, you just get what you're given and use what you've got. Right, so since I've been using this as 12, keep that as 12, set that to 1 because that's the lower point. And why aren't you coming out of it? That's it, right, and then we're going to add a pipe to there, set that so it's got a 5 on the height, and then bend it 90, so that's all done. That's going to be that, so I'll finish that, drag that out, right, so I need to scale it to fit that lamppost now. Like I say, what I'll do, I'll just follow it what it is in that render, so it's all the same size when I come to doing it for every single one. So try to get it in the position it roughly is. Really gonna have to get that terrain sorted, but then again that is just work in production at the minute. One of those you have to keep tinkering with till you've got the right look. So might just need to be a little bit smaller so it can fit the top of that. Let's say about that much. I just need to drag that up there, so that's where the 90 degree is, but I think that comes out just a little bit more if I'm not mistaken, just a little bit more. So I just do that and drag that out a little bit more. Right, so that's almost completed. I just need to do the ignoring that because like I said, I'm doing this to separate, then I can just duplicate after I've textured. So try to see if there's an up close on that. I'm pretty sure it is a 2-button system on there though, but I'm not entirely bloody sure. Oh, god damn it, 640 by 480 renders you'd think they'd be easier to look at, and in truth is in some instances they are, but in others they're not. They're a pain. Right, I'm spitballing with this. Right, what it looks like to me is it's a cube. It's definitely a cube, but it's like beveled slightly. So it's a bit like this, a little bit smaller than that. In fact, just get it on there and bloody scale it to what it is there. So scale it down a bit. So there's that. So I just need to scale it in a bit more. Probably a little bit that way. And then to there and a little bit down. That's about it. That's roughly in this place. It should be on there anyway. Right, so now I've got that done. I'll get the buttons done, which will just be 12 by 12. Not going to be doing too much high poly. It's a lamppost at the end of the day. People sat there and actually stared at a lamppost that long in a game. There's something seriously up with them. It's a lamppost. It's there as light. Deal with it. Okay. So I'm going to, before I even do that, let's just normal those edges and soften them a bit. Then delete that and all the little bits I've left over, because why the hell not? Right, so that's the buttons. Before I even do the beveling, I'm going to stick the buttons on, try and compile it as one mesh and go for there. So it's still out. It always looks like it's there, but then when you realise looking at the other angle, it's actually about God knows how many inches out. Units out. We don't do centimetres and metres. Right. Let's see if I can get the... Right. I'm always speculating with this because I can't actually see from... Oh, I'm not too bad actually. I'll put that there, that's it. That's not bad at all. Right, now, let's hope this bloody thing works. Save before I do anything. I've just realised I'm not going to do anything because I need to. Right, so let's see. Boolean union. No, of course they weren't going to bloody work. Of course, why wouldn't they not work? Right, let me try and do this. So if I duplicate them and flip them 180 degrees, bring them in instead, put them to there, and then. No. Right, fine. If you're going to be like that with me, I'll break this off and then do it that way. God almighty. Right. Try again. Move you out of the way. Maybe this is why it's not actually bloody working. Right. Try one more time. Mesh Boolean union. No, of course. Just be a pain. I'll move you out a little bit more and try again. Why do you do this to me? Why? Right, sod what I'm doing. Let's try and do it with a cylinder. If all else fails, do it with a cylinder. Much easier. Right. Right, too big for starters, but like I said, let's see. If it does it with a cylinder, fine. If it doesn't, I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board with this, but I always figure it out. Bloody combining assets. What a pain in the ass. Right. So there's one there, and there's one there. So as long as they're all a 12, which I know these are, they'll all, when it comes to the, well, people call it welding because of 3ds Max, we call it merging in Maya. So when it comes to actually merging them separate parts together as one, it'll fit because it's all 12 by 12 as opposed to whatever crazy number I wanted to give it originally. Let's see. Ah, that worked. Right. So if I do it with them two, no, wait a minute, hang on. If I remove those, is it going to give me a nice hole in there? Brilliant. I love it. Love it. Yep, brilliant. They should connect together in theory because they've all got 12s. Got 12 on each side. Set the pivot on that. Okay. They are a 12. There should be 12 inside. That means they should merge correctly. It's just going to be a bit obscure because of the fact it was a cylinder rather than a sphere. I always have problems with spheres. It's fine if it's like, say, a cube within a cube or a cylinder within a cylinder. Try and do it with a sphere, no fucking chance. It won't work. It just won't work when I try and do it. So let's just try and be a bit more practical with it. Right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is combine those, set the pivot on them, and then reattach the vertices together, like I said. Then I can UV map it more efficiently with that. Right. There's one more thing I said I need to do this because I said there was like a bevel on it. Like a bevel on the top and around the corners. And I bet as I do this, it's going to break those. I can just feel it. Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't win. I can't win with this. Right. So if I do that, is it going to get... No. Right, fine. So if I do it, say with these, let's see. What's it actually beveled on? And then you wonder why it's not bloody working. So if I do that 0.0500, set the segments down to say about 3. Oh, well, there we go. Right, so if I do it with that, and those... Then do it. Oh no, of course. No, if I try and do it, it's not going to work. Unless I do it with those. Fine. What if I do it just with these? Let me do it without losing the holes in the thing. I give up. Because the thing is, if I do separate this again and then bevel it and put it back, it's not going to fit because it's a curve and it'd be expecting a curve point, and if I don't have a curve point, it's not going to work. But I need these holes in there, so we'll go with thing. I just can't be... No, I'm not going to do it. Not even going to even try beveling it. We'll stick with what we got. Right. So the last bit to do here is this bit at the top. Now, does this have an angle to it? Oh, it does. Of course, it had to have an angle on it. It's just like these old bloody lights you used to have in the UK. It's what it reminds me of. Those old bloody ones we got replaced with the bloody... whatever type lights they are now. I just call them low poly frigging PS1 feet on the top of a lamppost because that's what they look like to me. So it's like... let's see if I can get it. So it's like a cube, rectangular, and then it's definitely got some beveling going on there, so I'm going to have to do that. And obviously it's got the light itself because that pops out, so we'll just quickly do that. It's like that there, but there's definitely some little detailing on there that I'm missing. This bit here. It definitely looks like a sphere that's been cut and quartered and halved and dragged out. I could do it like that. I could do a sphere there. But then that would mean implying it, and we have issues with it. But then I could easily... No, I can do this. Right, so we will do that. I'll put one in. Then, like I said, before I do those, soften the edges on that. Bloody hell, right. That'll teach me for having everything so small, but then again, that's what the engine's like. I'm not even going to try and say anything other than that. Right, so what I'll do... is put this in here, put it there, so we know that it's going to be like that, but then it would be curved at the end, wouldn't it? And then of course I've just realised this, even if I did it that way, it'd be cubed, it wouldn't actually be... So put... let me think about this. I wonder if I can get away with doing it that way. Right, I'll try it that way first, then we can go from there. Right, so I'll duplicate that, put that all the way up to there because that's where it is. Set the pivot on those, grab the edges of both bits. Yeah. I just need to do that. Could have done it with vertices, but more practical edges, then just need to scale them inwards. Merge those. Oh no, it's one of them ones, is it? Oh, God, just typical. Right, soften the edges just so that they're done, so I'm going to have to do all this manually. Always happens. Okay, so I'll just quickly merge all these. Sometimes it will do it all itself automatically, sometimes it will act a bit stupid and then try and merge every single one into a single vertex, which is what I don't want. Right, so that's done. Right, so let's see if my idea will work. It probably won't, knowing me. Right, mesh, boolean, union. Oh, and it broke those bits. Had to just break them, didn't it? Oh, I hate you, spheres. I hate you with a passion, especially when you won't merge correctly. So what I'm going to have to do is... I know what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to do it the old bloody fashion way, aren't I? So I need to put edge loops in where they are. And then one across there. Right, so that'll be the whole of that, and I'll go across to there. So what I now need to do, and pray God it'll work. No, go back to, yeah. Oh, now it won't work because of what I've done, but then again, if I do it this way, Yes, it will work, right. The old manual fashion way, as I call it. So if I do that, and remove all that underneath, because you're not going to see that, because this will be on top of it, then what I'm going to do is grab these and make them fit. Right, so if I start with those and push them out, then push these out, and of course I'm missing one extra flaming set of edges. Bollocks. Okay, let's try that again. So there's one set there and there's one more extra set there. Try this again. No, not both, just that one. Right. Again, let's try this again. Scale them out. Bring those forward and see where they match up. So them ones go there, them two go there, and that one sticks out like that at the end. And because I'm now going to split this in half, keep it at the same point there, and I just go like that. I only have to focus on one half of the model, so that'll make it easier. And since they're all set up now to match that, that'll fit in perfectly. But now I have to do some Booleaning, don't I? Fantastic. Can't beat a bit the old Boolean in it. So I really need to add this to my shelf. I'm not piddling around in here. Beveling needs a bit more beveling than that. Every asset bloody does. So if I set that to maybe not 1, maybe set it about 0.9. Ah, perfect, right. Is it perfect? Is it? Yep. Right, so if I do it with those, just to make that a bit softer as well, that'll do. That won't affect the middle, it won't break that up. Yeah, that's perfect. Now I just need to optimise it and UV map it, blah blah blah, same old thing I do. Okay, when it gets to things like this, this is where the complications start happening. Highlight that, remove all that. Same for that. But we need to keep all of those in there, otherwise when it comes to merging all this together as one mesh, it won't be able to do it. But I can get rid of everything else apart from that, so that can go, that can go, that can go, that can go, and vice versa for these ones. I think I'll keep those in, but I'll get rid of that bit and that bit and that bit, and obviously this bit here, because oh, hang on a minute, no, keep that bit in, it's going to give me that issue, right. Okay, and of course because I've done that I can actually delete that. That's half a UV map I can use, right. UV map it first, then combine it, blah blah blah, same old. So since this has got a curve, I should be able to cylindrical map this without any issues. Ah, brilliant. So I'll drop that there now temporarily, considering this is the light source. Oh, hang on, I missed those bits there. Do them. Right, let's try again. Still highlighting that. Always does it. Bloody glitchy as hell, but then again it is old. I'm not gonna crap all over it too much. Right, now the reason why I've kept them in is so when I do that, that's got its own set of UV stats, that's got its own UV space, and so is that. It just gives it a decent berth of the UV map when I'm working on it. So, same for this, need to do that. Put that on a y-axis, keep that together with that, so what's actually left? Top bits, of course. Wait, I thought I UV mapped you. Oh, bloody... Right. Fine, do it again. Done. Right, now I'm doing the top. I'll do those, like, separate. And then just drag them down there for now. And this I can UV map as its own separate thing, so that it gets its own set of coverage. Okay. Okay, now the only thing left is this bit. Well, we could UV map that from the top, but this I'm going to probably have to... No, I'm going to have to frontal this one then. Right, that's how that's going to look. Okay. And now that they are done, what I can now do is combine it, set the pivot on it, and then combine these vertices together. Why won't it do that? Did I press the merge command? I know I did, I'm not going crazy. Okay, apparently it didn't like what I was doing. Fine. Whatever you say, that's it. Like I said, they'll keep those in, so it's, but then again I can probably get rid of a couple of these. So if I get rid of them and potentially them, they can be even coverage then, that'll do. Right. And that's one complete mesh, because that's how you actually do 3D modelling, not several hundred cubes to wake a bloody set of letters in a fucking sign. Good God, we're all going crazy. Right, what I'll do is I'm going to have to duplicate these anyway, and that, just drag them out, put them all together. And then we just need to UV map all of these, so that can be done on a right axis projection, so that's done. Just drag that out there. Symmetrical map it. Drop that there. Gonna have to move that out when I start building stuff, so that's gonna be the same as that, so I can actually UV map those together, so across. They can be UV mapped together because again they're going to be using the same UV space because it's only just across from it. If you wanted to have like crazy amounts of detail, you'd have them as separate faces and then just go crazy with the texture in. Same for them, but they're on a y-axis, so I need to figure out which part of that is the y. So it's that one and that one, so it's that way. Then like I said, I got the option of doing this and that, so I'll just keep it like that. Since these are going to be two different colours, I'm going to have to UV map these separately, so there's that one, and then drag you out there, maybe a little bit further out of the field so I know where it's at, and then done. Both separate colours, that's absolutely fine. Right. So if I'm right, no I haven't done this, have I? So if I do this now, so that needs to be theoretically done. But those there need to be UV mapped on a y-axis because again, it's a y-axis projection. I'll just dump that to the side and then all of that can be cylindrically mapped. And that's that done. And that's connected to that, so we can just dump those together on top of each other because we know what they represent. Put that aside where that is, and that's all that done. So now where's those ones I combined, because if I get that, brilliant. Right, so add that to the space. That's the UV map done for all of these assets, and then we can just go into texture phase again with all of this, and I might as well texture it, and that's a few more assets off my list I need to worry about. Done. Right, so scale, try and get it to fit all in here, which I will do. It's like it's an issue. Put it down there. Probably bung that in the corner there and stick another thing in there, just fits the space up. Could actually put the lights in there, thinking of that. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? They'll fit. Just flip them that way, stick them in. Perfect. So that's where they'll be. If I need to scale them down again, I can do so. Right, give that a little bit of UV coverage, but not a lot, because again it's just a box. I'll stick it there for now. If I need to do some adjustments, I will do. I want to put this in now, so that needs a bit of UV space. Let's scale it in a bit, scale it down a bit. Probably about that. Just needs a bit more push up there. That just needs to be brought in. Could probably fit in there somewhere. Flip that round. There we go. Fits in perfectly. Right, so this is the only bit that's left, which is the light source. But I need to get the light source itself. Right, so if I can just look at these, look at where bits are. Right. Drag them down there so I know that's the light bits. So these bits are all the metal bits. So I do need to make some bits longer than others. No wait, no I don't, that's fine, because that's, I'll just scale that out a bit actually. Scale that out a bit, everything else is fine. I just need to try and fit it in here now. Right. And this is where the conundrum comes in. Which parts do I allow lower scale and which ones do I keep as a higher one? Definitely need that plank bit there for all that, because it's wood, you are going to see bits and pieces of it. You're going to need... definitely going to need that bit for there and all of that. But then again, this is the... could probably slot it in there if I was being crafty enough, which I am. Maybe just right, if I put that in there and just start putting bits here and there, then it won't look too small, it'll get a decent bit of coverage then. In fact, let's see what I can do here. Put that bit there, just scale it in a bit. And put a little bit of scale on top there, and we'll call that even there. Right, so the only thing left to do is get that glass set that I've set aside so I can put it on top of the light glass for this one, because they're all going to be using the same texture when I'm done with it, because a light's a light when it comes to 3D art, unless it's a special type of light. All light's going to be using the same texture. It just makes it easier for the processing power. It makes it so that there's only one instance of it on a UV map, which is used by every light, which means less resources used, less UV maps used, less textures used. Makes it much easier and more efficient in the engine. What it is basically rebuilding all of the original assets in Maya, and then rebuilding all the original assets for Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, the original Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, not the remake, and nothing to do with that remake. It's rebuilding all of the original assets so that they're as close to the original as possible, and it would have been part of a digital archive. As I've been told today, we're actually going to be pulling the entire archive off of the public domain, so unfortunately it's all going to be private from now on. But I'll keep these videos open, keep streaming my process so everybody knows where we're at with it, because the entire project was supposed to be public. But we had an issue with somebody and a group of people who've been stealing my assets, claiming I didn't model the assets, and then there's been a big clusterfuck because of it. And as a result, the project's gone private. So stick around, have a look. At the minute, I'll have to do a link in my YouTube at the end at some point, because I know this is through Twitch. I've got them linked up a simulcast, but I'm putting up all my old streams from back in 2017 when this project started. So there's about 4 years worth of work there that I'm going to be uploading for people to look at, and I haven't edited them in any way. So there's about 2-3 hours worth of each room asset build. And there's multiple videos in some. So like for the very first room I did, which was the starting area, it was about 8 videos I did before it was actually completed, and I put all 8 up so that people can see my process from beginning to end, and that's what I'm doing with these. So it's a case of going through the modelling phase, which I've already done last week, and doing all the texturing phase now, which is just finishing everything off. But it's also a few assets that are still left I need to do. So yeah, keep sticking around. You'll see me, texture in a minute, because I want to finish this up today with all these assets done, and I don't have to panic about it. Right, like I was saying, need to get this on with the glass part for this. So it's that there. So if I just go like that and drag that in there, then that's using the same area as the light. And like I said, because you can have multiple instances of all these assets using the same light texture, it's less UV spaces, less textures being used, and a lot more resource management done that's better and more efficient when it goes into a game engine. If it ever goes into a game engine, that's still the debate, but it would work a lot more efficiently than if you were doing each individual light in its own separate UV space on its own separate texture, which you'd just be wasting stuff by that point, and there wouldn't be much point in doing it that way. Anyway, that's me rambling. So do that, save, give it a name, so objects, blah blah blah, export this object, put it on the desktop so I know where it's at. Copy the objects, boom. The thing about it is I've had to explain, there is no original Resident Evil 3 assets. All the ones I'm showing I've actually built myself from scratch, because the only stuff we have got that's even original is the room data, which is what I'm using. I'll show you. It's much easier if I just show you what I'm using for this project. Right, so as I explained in one of my videos, which was previous, I won't go into it because it was me getting all pissy about this guy who's been stealing work and what have you. But basically I've got a set of tools which allow me to import the camera data from the actual room data that's used in the original game. So what you see here, all these cameras, are the actual cameras that are used in the game itself. So for example, I'll show you. You can see the render there, you can see the original render there, and everything else I've built on top of that is matching up with the render underneath, because that's how accurate this is. It's like 95 to 99% accurate the way I'm building it, because the only 100% I could give it is if I had the original texture library that they had, which we don't. But that's how close they are to the original in a sense. So every asset you see here I've built and textured and modelled, and obviously for all the streams I've done you can see me build them up. So that's how I do it, that's how it's done, that's how this project came about. There's so many people doing fan games at the minute of this, fan remakes and that. It makes my teeth itch, especially the one that was stealing my assets, who were just basically saying that, no we weren't, your stuff's piss poor, fuck you, basically, for what I was said. Excuse my language, but that's what it felt like. And it's only taken me, months to finally get all the evidence gathered up against them. And then I just completely went all both barreled on them, and their response was a video where they were showing half of my work and they were showing it so badly, trying to make me look like a jackass. So I made another video after the fact showing, well actually this is what it actually looks like, I don't know where you got your stuff from. So yeah, that's the issue I'm having with it, because this was all public domain project work until they basically pulled that shit with me. So nobody's going to get access to all of these now, which is a pain. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's like I said, this project's been ongoing for 4 years, and it's almost at the end because I'm at the end of the park. And next room after that's the bridge that connects the dead factory to the end of the park, and then that's the end, literal end. We're going through the dead factory, and then I've got like little bits left to do. So what I'm really doing now, because again, the project unfortunately has all gone private. The links that were public have been pulled as of today, as I've been told by my friend who have been working collaboratively with this because of the issues we've had over the past couple of months. So yeah, I'll just have to keep people informed with this because it's the only thing I can do now is just show where I'm going, what state this project is in, where it's going. And people can hear me ramble about how I hate trees and nature so much when I have to come to modelling them. Oh dear. Anyway, this is what I was going to do. So that's already been exported. So I need to go to Substance Painter now. The original Substance Painter. I refuse to go to that Photoshop version. The Adobe-ized version as it is. Oh, is the driver issue still outdated? Right, I've just updated it today. It's not outdated. Do not show me it. It's been updated. Oh dear. This is the translation. What it actually means is that your graphics card is so outdated that nobody's using them anymore, and I don't care. It works for me. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to bitch about it, and I don't need to get a new one. We'll just stick with what we got. Stick with, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Right, anyway, I'm rambling again. Right, so everything is everything is ready to be textured, because I do this in wait, hang on, that isn't half the... Wait. No, that's not half the assets. What's going on? Wait a minute. Why is that not showing those bits? Hello, what the hell? Why? Let me try this again. Right, so what bits are there? What's that bit? That's that bit, so then why hasn't it... I know there's some people that are using Unreal Engine with these assets. There's another guy that's been sending me updates. He's ended a little project he's doing where he is using Unreal 4. I'm not doing anything in Unreal with these, apart from if I tinker with them when I feel like it. But I'm using Unreal 4 because I refuse to update to Unreal 5 because 1, I don't have an RTX enabled graphics card, and 2, as far as I'm concerned, graphics at this precise moment in time don't mean anything to me. I don't really care about RTX because ray tracing isn't a new thing. It's been... The concept of ray tracing is been in 3D modelling packages from the late 80s and early 90s when this first started being used for stuff like the original Jurassic Park films, the Terminator 2, the T-1000. We've already had the ray tracing capability from that point onwards. The only difference here is it's real-time ray tracing, which is the gimmick that everybody's, you know, saying it's like the second coming of Christ. And personally, I don't have any interest with real-time ray tracing. Because again, I've used it for years with pre-rendering stuff. Fine enough, it makes things look pretty, but like I say, I'm not a graphics person, which is weird to say when I'm doing 3D art, but I'm not a graphics person really. Graphics don't mean anything, that's why I stick with like the old Mega Drive stuff, SNES, PS1, and all the other stuff that I've still got to play from all those time periods, because you know they're when games were actually awesome and worth playing and didn't have to have DLC and all that crap added onto it, or the big 20 gigabyte updates that take about 6 hours to download. Hey, bloody hell, it's all changing. I'm going to try this again because I don't understand why it's not actually exported all of it. Right, let's try again. Right, so wait, what did I actually save that under? Did I actually overwrite the... Right, one more time, because my brain's going mad. Right, export it, yeah. Right, so now I've got the right one. See why, I just don't understand why it's not showing half the other assets up, because everything's on there, it's all combined. But it's not. Why is it not? Right, okay, I'm going to try and bake it and see if it brings everything up. Oh wait, it's showing all. Why have we got two? Oh did I? Did I? No, it is come back. What the? Right, I tell you what. Since I'm now apparently going crazy with this thing, right? Get you in the fit. Put you back as Lambert 1. Everything's using Lambert 1. Stop trying to be different, right? Why is it not showing up those other bits? Because it's all there. It's even showing on the UV map when I export it. Why are you being a pain? Oh, now it does. Oh, it's because, again, no, it was using a different lamp. Right, fine. Okay, you stick with whatever. That's it, done. I know, it's too expensive, like I said, because of all the technology and the whole scalping situation that's going on. I haven't even got a PS5 or anything yet, because there's just no point in updating, because, you know, what's the advantage of ray tracing? Is there actually a game that's using it full advantage of the ray tracing? No game is yet, so I'm not even bothering. I might with the computer, but I'm not even bothering yet. I've still got too much stuff to do on PS4 before I can even update to that. Way too much bloody gaming to do. Too much on backlog. Right, so this is going to be no, I'm not going to save it yet. I'm going a bit mad with my trigger finger. Right, I'll do the bin first. Much easier, much quicker. Just need to find a UV map for it. So I've only recently started dabbling in Substance Painter, so I'm still trying to learn a lot of the stuff in it, but I know how to texture in it, so that's enough for me. So I'll just look where the bin is on the UV map. Right, yeah, that's it. So there's that bit there. So if I go in here, and there it is there. Right, so first thing I'm going to do, I wouldn't say it's aluminium, but then again it is iron either, but I like to piddle around with these. So raw shaggy ain't going to be bloody shiny, not powder coated, not hammered. We'll go with damaged. Right, so I'll drop it on. And that's going to add it, unfortunately, to everything, which we don't want. Wait, where the hell is the... That's using a different Lambert, isn't it? That's why it's not showing up on there. Oh, God, why do you do this to me? Right, one more time. One more bloody time. Try it one more time. So export selection, export that. Right, okay. We'll get there eventually. Right. Passage. Set to 124. I'm not doing 204 rate. No 4K. No that crud. Right. Fine. That's everything in. That's it. Fine. That's everything. Done. Dandy. Bake again because I'm just going to go mad otherwise. Right. Try again. Get me that. Get me damage. Drop that in. No, not there. Right, now let's do some quick scaling on it. In fact, what else is using metal? And I can just literally go right. Doesn't matter, panicking down, take a chill pill. Well, it depends what background you want to specialise in. I've got my degree, which is in games design, so I've covered I did 2 years worth of programming and switched over to design, but I've got programming experience, but my main experience in terms of my degree is games design, so writing the design documentation, the games design documentation, the artwork, all that, but I specialise in 3D art as my specialty. So in terms of where you want to get started with developing games, you have to pick an area that you want to specialise in and then go from there, because there's a lot more on the internet now than there was when I was younger, so a lot of people have got more access to like guides for programming, for art and everything like that. Hope that makes sense and I hope that helps. But that's where you start. You just pick an area that you want to specialise in and then go from there and just start with the basics. But that's entirely up to you, but I will make a suggestion, say don't do programming unless your mind is programmable, you know, can understand how programming code works, because there's a lot of mathematics involved with it, a hell of a lot of mathematics. So, you know, stuff like off the top of my head, I can actually figure out rotational matrices. I even had to at one point write actual game AI, which was literally writing artificial intelligence itself. And let's face it, I didn't get into understanding that to program AI for a robot or anything like that, but that's literally what I was doing. And that was just for doing like point A to point A B AI. Literally finding its point from point A to B, and then understanding like Dijkstra's algorithm and Nair-style algorithm. That's all tech stuff. It's all the programming end. With art, like I said, you're doing like the concepting, you're doing your character art, the character modelling for 3D, or you're doing the design documentation and writing up all of the mechanics because you want to do games design that way. You just got to pick an area you want to specialise in and then go from there. Start small, work your way up. And I'll get back with this as well. So what I'll do is I'll add the black mask, which allows me to do that. So I know that those are the metal. I'll switch this down here to UV space and texture. So it's only going to apply it to the texture here, and then just paint it back on. So that's the top and bottom of that. That's all the individual bits, and if I am right, is that bit associated with that? I'm trying to remember. Ooh, don't do that. Don't go crazy yet. Yeah, it is related to that one. There is so much behind the scenes, way too much behind the scenes. Like with this project, it's been ongoing for 4 years. And like I said, we've been having issues, and obviously I've been kicking up a stink and being called out for it, despite the fact I was in the right for doing so. And it's 4 years worth of work, and I'm still not finished. But that's how long I've been doing this project for. 4 years, and it was 4 years actually gone June, it's just gone. That's how long it's been going with it. And I'm only just literally at this point now, and that's all me doing the work. So there's a lot involved. Indeed there is. So I'll just do that. And just, right, so that's all done. That's all given the texture it wants. I'll add a few scratches in it at a later date. I just want to get it textured today. I'll just save it. I'll call it passage objects. Right, so I've got that done, so I'm going to apply it to the other bits now. So I know that that's metal, so I can do that, and I know that's metal across from it, so I can do that too. In fact, where is the lamppost at? There it is. Right, so if I'm right, that's actually yellowy colour, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So a little bit of rust on it, which I'll add. But if I remember, that's part of the metal too. And yeah, because that's on the lights, so just do that bit there. Go down there. What were these bits then? Let's check what I put there. Them as. Oh yeah, that's the wrap around, isn't it? That's right. So I can. That's the wrap around. No, that's too big. Let's smell it down a bit. So that's the metal part that wraps around on the top part of the lamppost. So I can do that. So where's the lower point at then? Where did I put the? Where are you at? Right now I see where you're at. Right, so it's this bit here. So if I just go crazy with that. Really should get me tableting when I'm doing this, and I've got much more better maneuverability, but time and everything. No. No. The last one we did, the last project that we did, that me and my friend did collaboratively, was the 1.5 Visited project, which was, well, it's still actually in public domain. That was literally rebuilding all of the assets, all the rooms from Resident Evil 1.5, and then filling in the blanks where we didn't have any idea what the rooms would be, because obviously there isn't a later build that's leaked. We've only had the November 96 build as a building block, and that's all we had as a building block, as well as the Resident Evil 2 Trial Edition's backgrounds that are on the end of the disc there, which is the latter half of the fat tray, all of the lab, what was left and what they still had to finish. So again, it was all estimating. Then we finished that project up, which was 4 years ago, literally, because literally a month or two after that we started this project. So that's the way it's been. But the other thing that we did, which is also online, I'm not sure if that'll stay in public domain, but we also did the hive rooms from Outbreak, because obviously we'd done the Raccoon General Hospital, and I thought, well, we've done the General Hospital, we've done all the rooms for that, why don't we just go all out with it and do the Outbreak ones as well? And it's a complete Raccoon General Hospital for everybody to use. So there's that as well. But that's what I've done. This is like RE, this is like the whole project is pretty much what we started 4 years ago, but other than that, no. We came into this, like I said, literally after doing the 1.5 project, and just went straight into this, and we've been doing it now for 4 years. I don't know why that. Right, there we go. Right, so that's that. That's chain. Wait, so what are these? Did I even like literally pay any attention to what I was doing when I was using mapping these? Right, well, no, that's there. So what are these? Oh, that's stores, isn't it? Sort of sign. We can view that then. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No, like I said, no, I didn't do any RE3 project specifically. I mean, this is what we do. We went straight into the deep end. Well, not the deep end. Went straight into it after the 1.5 project, which again is all up there in public domain. You can get that from anywhere. And I know somebody on YouTube's been building it up like a prototype of their own in Unity, and there was another guy before that who was tinkering away with it. And I don't know how far they've got with those, but the assets are all up there for use. That was when my poly budget was lower. Now I've got a maximum of 250,000, but I keep going over it because of the bloody trees and foliage that are doing it all in the park, which I hate doing. But the last project way before then was some Resident Evil 2 stuff, which was modding stuff. I still kind of go back from there every now and then, but the old Resident Evil 2, not the remake. I did some old modding from there, character modding, porting stuffing. Like the last thing I was working on before I kind of semi-retired from it was porting all the characters from Tekken 2 into RE2. Got quite far with that. Not every single one, but a lot of them had to be remodeled. Like the hands had to be remodeled because they weren't importing correctly. It's like the engine didn't like it, so I had to remodel a lot of the hand models and do some adjustments to the character meshes themselves for them to actually port correctly. But that's another story for another time. But that's what I did. That's what I did and might go back to eventually. But for now, this is the project I'm working on. Right, yeah. So I think what I'll do is I'll just get it, most of it textured and get it done for the day, and then just go from there. Or maybe just finish it up with some what I can do, and yeah. So that's them. So I assume that that's part of it too, and that's got to be part of the bottom bit. I mean, I should know from my own UV mapping, but I know what that is. That's the signs, so they're going to need that metal anyway because they're metalish, so I'll go crazy with that. Like I said, I've only just recently started using this a few months back, so it's still getting used to it. A lot of fun though. Oh, Lord of the Cross. I've not played it. I can't say anything other than that. played it. But yeah, the modding community for the old games has progressed quite a bit over the last few years. I can still remember back in like 2008, we didn't have half the tools or half the knowledge we have now. We couldn't even do custom rooms back then. Now we can do all that with a matter of button clicks. There's so much advancement there, but there's still there's still room for more. There's a hell of a lot more stuff that we still don't understand about these old engines. Oh, deal. Oh yeah, the nail. If I can get there. Ah, right. Okay. That's that bit there. So if I just put the metal texture on there, so that's done. Save that. Right. So what else is metal? If I can just the light indeedy. The question is where the hell is it? Where did I get the UV for the entirety of you? No, not select. No. Whoa. Don't start jumping the bloody gun yet. Right, that's the light bit at the bottom, so all that in there is metal, so all this from here to there is metal, so I can go crazy since all the rest of it's metal above. Just save, and then if I can just try and get a zoom in on this. Still a problem with doing it all like this, but it just makes it easier. So the metal's there. It just hasn't been applied to those bits. I can't understand where they at then. Whereabouts are they on the UV space? I mean, they should have already been textured, shouldn't they? Ah, so that's what that is, right? So yeah, this should be done now. When I go crazy like this, there we go. Brilliant. That's a very, 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 very crazy question to answer. Roughly. These streams I usually do about an hour to 2 hours. Originally I started doing 3.5 hours to 4 hours worth of streaming, but the problem was after I finished doing a stream like that, I'd end up switching it all off, taking a chill pill from doing it, and my eyesight would be getting all screwy and I'd end up seeing everything in a wireframe mode, which again is an advantage if you're doing 3D because you can start to see where all the shapes will be building. But it started getting bad for my eyes. It started making them play up, even if I could see everything in wireframe. It was like I was seeing through the Matrix, so I had to take a break. So I had to restrict streaming to about a couple of hours each day that I do it. But to try and figure out how many hours I've done, I can't really answer that. I mean, like with the 8-part I did for the starting area 4 years ago, each one of those was about 3.5 well, the highest one was 3 hours 59, and like all the others were like 2.5, 3 hours, and that's like 8 videos altogether, so that's just for one room. So then you got to then add it all up with the 64 I've already done for the project so far. It's been the 65th one I'm working on, and it's kind of a case of maybe, if I had to take a rough estimate, maybe 500 hours plus. That's just a rough estimate. I'd have to look it up when I've got every stream in front of me and just try and take an estimation from there. But that's about as rough as I can give you at the minute. So about roughly 500 hours altogether, probably plus more than that for the entire project so far. I suppose I could go for it. Just put them on. Because that's the only thing that's left is this wood, but I can do that. What's this bit? Let's see what that is. Oh, that's the wooden bit in it. Yeah, that's all the wood. This is all the metal. That's smell. I've got all that. Right, do you know what? I'll just take a break, I think. I've got as much as I wanted to do today. I'll save in here. Just switch down. Just do a bit of chatting for a bit. Oh dear. In fact, what I'll do is I've just realised it's going to be streaming through my YouTube account, innit? Oh dear. Right, well, what I can do. Oh, there I am. Apparently, I'm doing this all live. So, what I'll do, even though it's there and it'll show up on the stream, is so if you go on YouTube and you type that in, you'll find my YouTube account, and if you look in the videos, still keep saying it's cabin, but it's not the cabin. I'm gonna have to change that. And if you go to, actually, if you go in playlists, it's much easier to go in playlists, and you go to the Resident Evil 3 Revisited Project streams. This is literally all the ones I said before that I've been uploading. So it started from June the 10th, 2017, and I've currently got it up to January the 12th, 2018, but I've still got a lot more. Right, I'm running on, because I built this, it's a custom computer. Built it at the beginning of this year, end of last year, got the parts, beginning of this year, I accumulated them and I built it. No, wait a minute, we're in 2021 now. Yeah, I built it at the beginning of this year. This is what happens when you're going through the pandemic. Basically, it's running on, it's an AMD Ryzen 5 2600, that's its CPU. The GPU is a Radeon Red Dragon, which is the same as an RX 550, which is a 4GB thing. I won't delete them, they're up there so that people can view them. That's why I started uploading them. It's running on an SSD, which is 260 gig, I think it is. I've almost used most of that up though. It's obviously running Windows 10 Home. It's Ryzen, it's AMD graphic card. It's running on Corsair RAM, which is 16 gigs. What I might actually do is I will hang on. You've added me on Twitch. What I'll do is I'll write the specs up, I'll send you them. No, you don't need a heavy beef like this. The only reason why I built this was because my old PC died on me, and I don't know if it was the CPU that died or fried or what have you, and that's what I was using originally, and it wasn't as good spec. It was a very basic gaming rig, even though this is technically called a basic gaming rig now because it's entry level apparently, but it's a lot more powerful than the one I usually did all my work on, and that's the only primary reason why I built it, is so I can keep my 3D work going. So it isn't the best beefy PC, but I mean the specs are a PS4 Pro, so I had a new RTX graphics card. I'm pretty much golden for everything else. It doesn't need much updating as much, which isn't too bad. Just look at get half the parts cheap as it was, because the only reason why I had to update to a Ryzen 5 2600 is because I couldn't get hold of the free 100, I think it was, because that one's pretty cheap. It was £100 originally, and Amazon ran out of stock during the pandemic. Couldn't get a single one, and this 5 2600 cost me £50 more, but it's actually much better than it. Apparently everybody should be using it for entry level budget gaming PCs because it's actually one of the better, cheaper CPUs. But that's just what my rig is. It's not a bad little rig. It does the job that I need it to do. I can still play games on it. Obviously I'm not going to be playing Resident Evil Village with RTX on because the graphics card isn't compatible, but I can still run Resident Evil 6 on low spec. I'm not good at Village on low spec. Christ, can run 6 on friggin' Ultra, this thing can, but then again, who'd want to play Resident Evil Flaming 6? Because I don't just do like streaming of 3D and modelling streams and whatever. That's just primarily what I do. I do game streams as well. I just haven't done it in a while. because one of the things I want to actually start doing hopefully this month is doing Project Zero/Fatal Frame streams, because I've got that ready and set up as through PCSX2 on here. So I might be doing that soon, because I haven't actually played and completed the first one. I've only played maybe the first 30 minutes of it. So I want to get that complete, because the only one I've actually completed them is the second one. They did ruin it, scalpers, bitcoiners, all that. But then again, people didn't expect to be, you know, panic buying all electronics and bog roll and everything else that led to the great pandemic of 2019. So yeah. They really did ruin the market though. That's why I haven't got a decent GPU. Well, then again, I'm not really bothered about my GPU. It's doing me fine, even if it does say it's outdated on Substance Painter. I'm still fine with it. They're still getting updates through it. So as far as I'm concerned, I'll ride it out till it doesn't get any updates anymore, then buy a new one. So yeah. It's always very random. I'm going to get questions about GPUs and rigs and stuff, because it's just like a new entry level one I built. Just makes it easier. Gonna have to do maintenance soon, give it a good clean out if it needs one. Scalper's ruined a lot of bloody things, taking all the PS5s, the Xbox Series 1s, GPUs for bitcoining. But for running Unreal 4 on this, it's actually pretty smooth. I mean, I've got it all set up as highest, and I think this is running at, is it 1080p it runs at? It runs at that. I mean, it won't run at 4K obviously, but it runs at 1080p with, you know, ultra smooth and everything. So well, I know how bad it can be there, yeah, because yeah. And I can imagine that. I know, like, in those parts of the world they do sound for an extortionate amount, because there isn't like an official channel like there is, you know, in like where I'm from in the UK, where, you know, obviously we get it all distributed by the companies like Sony, like Nintendo and that. But I know, like, in countries in South Africa, they do charge an extortionate amount for games consoles, because there isn't like a distribution from companies to there. So I can see why, but I do think it's bloody ludicrous, though. I will agree with you with that. Bloody hell, 1,000. Bloody hell. I mean, God, with that kind of money, you could easily get like a little bit of an upgraded rig like this. Hell, for that kind of money, you could get 2 bloody entry-level budget PCs that I built here for that much. That's just crazy. I remember reading, what was it, about Brazil and what have you, with Mega Drives and how they were so extortionately priced back in the 90s. And that's why there isn't like a lot of tech there. Like, you'd be expecting like PS5s and what have you, but that Mega Drive, Sega Mega Drive has been going on there for so long, and there's all new games coming out for it, and you're just thinking, bloody hell. So yeah, it's a pain. I mean, that's like scalping price over here. Roughly, yeah. I can imagine that, because I know what it is like that around there, unfortunately. So yeah, I understand that. It's absolute pain. Yeah, I can bloody imagine what a bloody pain that has to be. Just look at get all the parts like I did, because I was buying them all up and just seeing where I could get the cheaper alternate from different companies, and that's how I got this thing built. So luckily it's just about luck and getting parts. I mean, obviously as this pandemic starts to get less and less, fingers crossed that we'll be able to actually start getting parts in supply and getting games consoles back in supply without having to scalping our way through bloody things. Okay, so I've got that texture started. Gonna have to get that terrain worked on. especially since that needs to be flatted so it can support that, but that should be too hard. What's stream on 144? That's actually not too bad considering. Oh dear. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave it there with modelling stuff and texturing stuff. I mean, I've got the core things UV mapped. I'm just slapping the texture work on. I can do that tomorrow with another stream and then finish all that up. And then it'll be the lovely realm of trees, foliage and bloody terrain. So yeah. Like I say, feel free to follow me on this. Check out my YouTube, because like I said, that's where all the streams go up now, all my old streams. So you can kind of get a rough idea of, like, in terms of hours I've worked, building everything up, seeing me build everything up from the ground up. And like I mean, it's only just got up to, like I said, January 2018, I think I said, yeah. But I've been doing it for 4 years, so there's actually still a lot more video streams to come. And then again, I'll be doing edited versions of these to bring them down. Like I said, an example, from the very first stream I started, that was like 2:42, then the next one was 3 hours. That one shouldn't be in there, so I don't know why it's out of sync with order, but that one's like a recent one from July the 6th this year, so ignoring that. The next one, 1:55, 2:49, 2:56, 3:24. And that's literally the last one, I assume, because then it goes on to the warehouse, save room, warehouse itself, and blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of work in there, but it's all there. Yeah. They're all trying to get a bloody away with a murder, basically. Oh, God in hell. Like I said, a lot of electronic manufacturers were expecting everybody to be buying up electronics when a pandemic hit, and that's why there isn't a lot of components. It's like one of the smallest components you can think of, and that's like, it basically is used in every electronic in a car. Phones, games consoles, anything electronic uses it, and that's why there isn't a lot of stock for any of it, because they're having to rebuild these because they ran out. They literally ran out because they didn't expect people to be panic buying electronics in a pandemic of all things. But that's what's happened, unfortunately. And let's hope to God we never have another pandemic, and even if we do, they should be well stocked and prepared if we do end up having one. God forbid that we do, or don't in this case. Let's never have another one like this, that's for bloody sure. There's only so many people that can sit inside for a whole year not going anywhere, which is what I had to literally do for an entire year. Literally staring at the same four walls. It's not good. Yeah, I'm going to upload some more of them at some point, but yeah. So I'm going to probably finish up the stream in the next so many minutes, so if you want to ask any questions, feel free to do so. Try and keep on for a little bit more. I'm just going to have to get a drink because my throat's a bit parched actually. I've got to go and get a water now. Oh. So if you want to ask anything, just go for it, I'll answer. Oh. Oh. I'm gonna have to take that advice of my own. Always carry a bottle of water next to me when I do a stream. Oh. You can just imagine now, you want to ask a question, you're tapping away on your iPhone like rarely, I mean, the idea I want to do with these streams, I'm going to start implementing my music again, because originally when I did all my other streams it was just audio because I didn't have a decent microphone, but luckily I've actually got one now that works. So I've had people say that, yeah, they can hear me perfectly clear with this one, so we'll stick with this and I'll try and integrate some music in at some point. Yeah, and exactly, yeah, that's another reason why. So, and the worst thing is that they keep breaking out again, and then they get like a whole bunch of people come down with it who might have even been vaccinated and what have you. It's just the way that the world is now, unfortunately. Everybody's coming down with it. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a game developer. Well, I'm an asset creator. I do 3D asset building. I mean, I've got projects of my own that I'm doing in the works, which I haven't shown yet. So it's barely just showing asset creation, how, you know, difficult it can be or easy it is depending on which way you look at things. But I do it just for the fun of it. That's why I do all this stuff. That's why I've been doing these streams for 4 years. It's like an archive of me building stuff so I can refer to it later on. Or it's just a case of, well, this is where I was. Take a look. Have a look at it. There's probably more stuff in the pipeline. I just need to start getting done. But eventually I will start show some of my own stuff. Just haven't got to that point yet because I want to get this done. This project finished, which isn't that far off. I'm hoping we'll get it all finally finished all by the end of hopefully the beginning of next year. A little bit into 2022. We nearly said 21 then because I keep thinking we're back in 2020. Ah dear. It's the latter half of the park, which the one I'm working on now, which I've stopped doing, but actually no, I've still opened this one, which is the Passageway, which goes from the promenade where the hunter gammas jump up from the water to the point where the gate is, where you need the key from the cemetery's cabin, and you go through, and then you got the bridge that connects the latter half of the park to where the dead factory is, and then it's the whole of the dead factory I've got to do. And then after that there's still some areas I've got to do, like the broken version of the clock tower's interior main hall, the exterior's main thing with the helicopter crashed in, the graveyard when the grave digs it up, and what I want to do, the one I want to try and do is I want to try and do the main street from the beginning. No, there isn't a section that I've built. Like I said, I haven't done this in Unreal. It's more of a dabbling in. The guy that I've been talking to, the other guy who's came in, asked if we could have permission from us to use my assets in his project. He's actually got the starting area from it all the way up to the cabin, all ported and can all be walked around, ran around, etc. But that's for an entirely different project that's still ongoing, but I've got no part in it. It's just my assets that are being used. But I am dabbling with it, so who knows what'll happen. But I have actually got it inside the Unreal Engine. Well, some of it. I know I got the save room from the clock tower, the east side after you come from the broken side, and what other room was it that parted? The cabin, the interior of the cabin I've got in as well, so I'm still dabbling with it. Just haven't got there yet. Like I said, I'm not doing work with it. It's not what I would be doing. I mean, I think he's the one who got permission for me to use it. He actually wants to add extras to it, but while keeping it like the original in a sense. Hello, how are you doing? About I'll be shutting down at the 2 hour mark, so we're an hour and 53 now. So if you want to ask, go for it. If you want anything you want to ask, just do it. Because there's all kinds of different areas I want to still finish up, but it's just getting to them, which I will eventually. It's just like the thing that I'm dreading now, because I've been looking at it, is the last section of the dead factory with the frigging Sword of Pericles, his bloody railgun, all the detail in there. I'm going to be modelling the weapons as well, and all the bloody cables and wires attached to the frigging railgun itself. It's going to take me God knows how long to build all of that. So I'm kind of dreading it at the minute, but we'll see how I feel when I finally hit that point. So, but nah, I mean, I'm not involved in a project. I know people have been egging me on saying, you know, when are you going to release the demo and that. All I've literally gone and done is got everything, like all the objects, text, UV mapped that I need. I'll just quickly boot this up. So basically, just grabbed everything I needed, UV mapped stuff, and it's just a case of I've just slapped some basic texturing on, and I'll finish off that tomorrow, do another stream of it. So that's basically where I'm at now. It's just UV mapping, texturing phase that I do. You know, I'm not doing much. Well, that's what I mean with mine. It's not my project I'm on about. It's a guy's project who got in touch, who got permission from it to use my assets. He wanted to make it a one-to-one part of the original, but enhance the detail by taking all the assets I built, so making it kind of similar to the remake of the first game, but without the pre-render. Well, still try to do it with pre-render, but with 3D assets. So it wouldn't be literally a reskin, it would be a rebuild. But yeah, but like I said, I'm not part of that. Not yet. I don't think I do. I don't like doing fan projects. I'd rather work on like my own stuff. Because like I said, I'm only doing this as so that it's a complete project. And because like I said, I've got the tools to do it. So that's the only reason why I'm trying to get this project finished. After that, I don't really care what's done. But who knows what will get done. But as long as it's, you know, not some of these projects I've seen where they've been literally ripping assets from other artists, claiming that they're own, and it just looks so god-awful. It looks like the entire RTX shares have just basically dumped it all in shit, and it just looks like it's all been dumped in diarrhea. It's too bright. It's like one issue I had was the fact that the RPD insignias that are above the flaming main gate and above the main door all light up like neon fucking lights, like it's a cyberpunk, and it's like, no. It depends on how detailed and technical your game wants to be at the end of the day. I wouldn't be able to do the entire project on my own. I wouldn't do a remake of 3. I mean, Capcom already did it. I don't have any intentions to do a remake of 3, even if it was god-awful and lacking so much bloody content. But yeah, you know, projects like that, you need at least 2 or 3 different people. You need at least somebody who can animate as well. And I've only dabbled with animation, so my skills in that aren't perfect, but 3D art, I can do that. I can do it with like well, you know, behind tied behind me back, using only flaming teeth if we're going to be honest with it. It'll be done. It'll be done. Like I said, it'll probably be done. The remakes, the fan remakes. Like I think I went into a right laughing fit with those videos. Yeah, I mean, M2 really did. They really dropped the ball with their interpretation of it. And like I said, after I played it a few times, even I felt a bit gutted about it because of the amount of stuff that they just didn't have in, and they literally had potentially 3 years to work on it, or 2.5 years, and it was just literally a run and gun action fest where there was no backtracking, and half the stuff that was in the original was removed, and then they kind of streamlined all of the locations into one area in the city, which, you know, nobody wanted. We wanted it to be just like the original, where you'd be going through all these different back streets. It was soulless. That was the only problem with it. And like I said, this is why, you know, we took this project up, was to just rebuild them all. So, you know, the original version, which wasn't soulless at all, had all these little areas that they added in. They gave a character to Raccoon, like I keep saying, I've said previously. Everyone misses out about who the actual main character was, because it wasn't Jill, it wasn't Carlos. The real main character in that game was Raccoon City itself, because of the fact that each room told its own story. Literally was, yeah. it was pretty lazy with that. I mean, they just took assets from the 2 remake. But then again, that's how games development works. And then, of course, what you need to remember with that is that the scanning tech is what they've been using. So they've literally been 3D scanning assets rather than building them all from scratch like I'm doing, which, fair enough, takes the development time down, but... yeah, they do love those bolt cutters. I'm sick of seeing them, to be honest with you. If I see any of them Resident Evil bloody 9, God help us all. Or in this so-called remake of 4 that's coming out, because that'll be interesting. Yes, Leon, you must use the bolt cutters to progress. No, fuck off with the bolt cutters. It's bad enough for the love for the friggin' nest little thing. Goddamn bloody nest. I thought that was bad enough when it was a nest too, and everyone's like, oh, what's going to be an RE4? The nest free? Yeah, why not? Let's go with that. Let's just keep going with that. So yeah, I'm going to disappear in a minute. So if there's any last words you want to say, go for it. Because I'll be disintegrating. I've got stuff I want to do. My God, is it nearly that time already? Fucking hell, right. Then I'm going to have to go and get something to eat. Yeah, I know, unfortunately. Again, seeming 9, you can bet it will be 9. Easy asset creation and duplication because you've already got all the art for it, you've got the animation data, so why not? That's the only thing with game development nowadays, it's all copy and paste. That's brilliant. Yeah, like I said, it'll be the same because, like I say, I'm simulcasting this onto YouTube as well as Twitch, but all of the streams I did previously, they're all on there. They'll be all going up when I've got the time to upload. I don't know if I'm a fun streamer, but if you think I am, that's all I need to hear. So yeah, you'll hear me ramble, you'll hear me groan and moan about stuff when I'm working, but that's it is. Oh, bloody FIFA games are notorious for the copy and paste. It's like a swear word when people mention FIFA to me. It's like, oh, FIFA 22's come out. I don't give a shit. I don't play football games. I know. And the worst thing is people keep buying it every year. It's like COD. And there's nothing new in COD. They keep buying the same game every year. They just don't realise it. That's why I stick to independent developed games now. There's a lot more, fun in them. There's a lot more freedom and a lot more uniqueness. And each one of them isn't like a copy and paste unless it's like literally a sequel. So, yeah. I'm going to disappear. But yeah, thanks for viewing, thanks for tuning in and asking your questions, and like I said, we're doing another stream tomorrow. Yeah, we do. That's the thing. I'm lucky I don't buy any of them. Every COD game I own, I've either got it in PlayStation Plus his own monthly thing, or it's been literally given as a gift, so I don't. Never played a single Battlefield game, so I've got no hype for it. There's only so far you can take them before it's like literally exaggerating science fiction. Pardon me. Anyway, I'm gonna go switch it off. I'll be back on tomorrow's stream, and I don't know when. Probably afternoon my time, but I'll be on. So tune in then. Check out the YouTube because I'll be uploading stuff when I can. So it'll be older stuff. Be streaming simulcast to that tomorrow and Twitch, so wherever you added me, which I obviously can see is Twitch because that's the Twitch log anyway. I'm gonna go. You have a good day and rest of the evening